Hello and welcome everyone again into another video. Today's video will talk about the top teams in the Little Cup Holiday Edition. Oh, I think it's Holiday Cup Little Edition. It's basically Little Cup 500 CP and only 6 types are allowed. Flying, Grass, Ghost, Normal, Electric, and Ice. Usually the stuff it's supposed to see in a snowy weather at a holiday. I don't know what Grass is doing there. But the Antic said this is the eligible type, so we have to, it's like, okay, we can only use these stuff. The problem with Holiday Cup is that it's usually like just an RPS cup that used to be dominated by counter user. Because counter users destroy normal. They are most likely normal type like Obstagoon and Vigoroth in the past, so they destroy the ghosts as well. And because counter used to be OP, they have body slam and then they beat even the flights. But now counter is no longer good. It got nerfed, I think, two seasons ago, and a new star has been born after that. So let's talk about the top teams, top Pokemons and top teams, and we will hopefully give you an idea on what you should be running in this cup. If you take a look at PvP ranking, the number 1 Pokemon is Smeargle. It used to be Smeargle with counter and body slam, but now body slam is a bad move and counter is also not the most ideal move. But the best move in the game right now is flying press, which is a move that only 2 Pokemons learn it, Pikachu Libre and Halucha. The best fast move is Incinerate. It's no longer counter. So you have to run Smeargle with Incinerate and Flying Press. The problem with that is that you have to use an Incinerate user and you have to keep rolling it until you get until you get flying press. You have to you have to use your body, take screenshot of that, and it has to be an Incinerate user with a legacy move on the left. So because when you have a legacy move, you will have a chance to get a random move. So you keep rolling until you get flying press, and then you have to lucky trade that because Smeargle needs to be level 50, and even a level 50 Smeargle doesn't even get to 500 CP. So that's how difficult and insane this Pokemon is. Now, would you say like it's worth it? I know people who actually have these. I know people who tried their best to get these moveset, and they ended up getting like top 5 on the Pokemon Go global leaderboard because of that moveset, because of that Smeargle. So is it worth it? 100% it's worth it. But the problem is, can you do it? That's a different way, because you have to find someone who's lucky and willing to trade you than such a crazy rare Smeargle. So if you take a look at PvPoke, the ranking is Smeargle followed by Amaura. Why Amaura is here? Amaura is technically the best Ice type, and Ice type is actually good in this cup. And you will see like a bunch of normal types. You'll see a bunch of grass. Remember, like there is grass and there is a flying and there is electric, and Amaura beats all of these types. And there is also Sandslash, and Sandslash is known for being the ice that beats Amaura, right? Pikachu Libre is number 6. Pikachu Libre is supposed to be the best Pokemon, but the problem with Pikachu is that Pikachu is not a tanky Pokemon. So in the 2, it probably get incinerated all the way down. But in the 1, it's the best Pokemon. In the 0, it's also the best Pokemon because Flying Press will almost one-shot everything as long as they don't fly and they aren't ghosts. So you just run Pikachu with, what's PvPoke saying? Flying Press and Thunder Punch. Yeah, you technically run Thunder Punch because it's the cheapest move that Pikachu has. Sandslash Milk Tank. Milk Tank is basically the second best normal type. So if you don't have a Smeargle, you could cope with the Milk Tank with Rollout Body Slam. Joltik is making a case for like the best Bug, but Bug is just a bad type in this cup. I mean, it has Sucker Punch though. That's the main thing. Sucker Punch is now the best 2-turn fast move. So it has a play. So how did I sort my Pokemon? You can see like I have I have different categories. As the grass, there is only one grass Pokemon, which is Obama Snow. You could say Cottony is usable, but this cup is dominated by Ice and Fire. So everything in this cup just hard counter Cottony. Cottony most of the time can win up a shield. Like in these cases where like opponent has 2 Pokemons and both of them are half HP. Cottony can charm them all the way down just by using shields. And you have to play in a way where like you need to chip all of the opponent's Pokemon. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. But basically like you just keep dancing around with your lead and your swap to the point where like you chip every Pokemon of the opponent, and then Cottony comes in and just charm everything down. So that's like the Cottony strategy in this cup, because if you don't want to get hard countered, you have to chip everything, because Cottony cannot charm down something like a fire Pokemon, right? The Ice squad. The best Ice type is Amaura. And remember, Alolan Sandslash or Alolan Sandshrew are like the ice that beats other ice because they have a steel move. And the tankiest ice, you could say that Alolan Vulpix can be better than Amaura sometimes because it has Night Slash, which means you can hit the fires and the ghosts with a super effective Night Slash, right? But like Amaura needs to go to the rock move. What does Amaura have? Ancient Power. Ancient Power is technically not ideal move, but Night Slash is just a cheaper move. The ghosts. The best ghost in this cup is supposed to be Shadow, Alolan, Marowak. So it's a rare Pokemon, not everyone has it, but I mean, I have one, technically. I have one, so I might be able to use it. But the one I want to talk about here is Annihilape. And yes, Annihilape is not, but the thing about Annihilape, it's the only Pokemon that can counter down the Smeargle and leave with tons of energy. So if you want to build a team that counters Smeargle, you just actually run Annihilape. We will get to the point where like, how do we beat Smeargle? Okay, how do you build a team as well? Just be patient. Another normal type Pokemon that has a use is actually the Litleo. Litleo is not the tankiest, but it has Incinerate, Crunch, and Flame Charge, so technically there is a chance you can ramp up your fast move and spam Flame Charge, or just get a Crunch debuff and then just also keep incinerating everything all the way down. So I want to talk about something about all Little Cups, because people always complain that the Little Cup is not worth the investment, and I want to say that there are a bunch of Pokemons that are worth the investment in the Little Cup format. And those Pokemons are, okay, Golett, Shadow 1, Cottonee, Smeargle with Incinerate now, Pikachu Libre, Alolan Vulpix, Amaura, and Alolan Sandshrew. Those 7 Pokemons are most likely going to be eligible into at least, each one of them will be at least eligible for one Little Cup every season. With Golett has been the one that's eligible in every Little Cup format. This Pokemon is so good and so versatile because you have the chance of running OP Mudslap or OP Astonish. With the Shadow one, you can actually farm down lots of stuff, more than you can believe. It only loses technically to Grass. Other than that, it should be fine against everything. Smeargle is just the GOAT of Little Cup now. It used to be banned from Little Cup formats, but then Niantic stopped doing that because they were like, why are we stopping people from dumping 600,000 dust on a Pokemon that probably will get nerfed every time we change the moveset? So that's basically the decision. Cottonee has been literally the most dominant, one of the most dominating 3 Pokemons in the Little Cup format. We're talking about Cottonee, Bronzor, and you could say Golett is the 3rd one after the nerf to Ducklet. So how do you build a team in Little Cup format? So 1, you need a Smeargle and 2 counters to Smeargle. That's literally how you build a team, because Smeargle destroys the ice and the fire also destroys the ice, so you don't have to care about this. I recommend one of these fires at least with Smeargle. If you don't have Smeargle, I have a team for you that's actually you might be able to use. So don't be like, oh, I don't have a Smeargle, I'm out. No. We have teams for everyone on this channel. So the best team, I think, in my opinion, in this cup is Smeargle with Golett and Amaura. Amaura is subjective to change based off which ice Pokemon do you have that's not weak to fire. Like, remember, Amaura is ice and rock, so it takes a neutral from Incinerate, and that's the most dominant thing about this Pokemon. It's an ice that's not weak to fire, so if you're able to find something like that, that's a good choice. Golett is just the most dominating Pokemon, the most oppressive, like the Pokemon that does the most amount of output damage in this cup. Smeargle is just, the Chad of this cup. Moveset wise, Incinerate, Flying Press, it's not even negotiable on this guy. And Golett, you can run Astonish or Mudslap, but you kind of need Mudslap for one reason, which is the normal types, because if you run Astonish, you just get destroyed by the Mudslappers. And Amaura, Wither Ball, Powder Snow, Wither Ball, and Ancient Power. But if you don't have a Golett, there is actually another Pokemon you could use, which is Runerigus. I think having Golett is much easier than having a Runerigus. PvPoke is saying that Runerigus is better. I do think that Golett is much better. 1, because it's eligible in more cups. 2, it's better when it comes to fast move pressure. But if you want to use something that's less clunky than 3-turn fast move, you can just go with Runerigus. But I myself think that Shadow Golett is just straight better. What if you don't have either? Just run the top 3 PvPoke team. Smeargle, Shadow, Alolan, Marowak, and Amaura. I generally think that top 3 PvP teams are usually strong teams, but they don't perform well in the first day of the cup. That's something about how people play, because people will try to counter 1, 2, 3. Not like there is a counter to those 3 Pokemons, but that's how people play in the Little Cup format. But Yasser, what if we don't have a Smeargle? If you don't have a Smeargle, you can run this team. Oh, sorry, I meant if you don't have a Smeargle on the lead, you can run Smeargle on the back. If you don't have Incinerate Smeargle and you have another good Smeargle, like a Smeargle with a Dragon Breath, right? You don't have to lead it. Lead something like Annihilate, and I guarantee you, if you lead Annihilate, you will win the majority of leads in the first 2 hours. So I myself will be leading this Pokemon, by the way, because I do believe that whichever people lead, as long as it's not Golett, it's going to be weak to Annihilate. Because if they lead Ice, it's weak to Annihilate. If they lead Smeargle, it's weak to Annihilate. And those Ice and Smeargles are going to be the most common too. And in the back, you have to have 2 answers for Golett. So you need an Astonish user, and you need a Smeargle if you can. If you don't have a Smeargle, actually, you don't have to care. Like, you don't have to run Smeargle itself. You could run Talonflame, because remember, Talonflame is fire and Incinerate user, and it resists fire. So you technically have the chance to output more pressure, and you can just run Flame Charge in this cup, because you're just gonna do more fast move pressure. And this cup, the most thing about this cup, the most common thing about this cup is like Pokemons aren't tanky. And usually fast move pressure is enough. So imagine having fast move pressure and then doing more damage just by ramping up your fast move pressure. Pikachu Libre is known for being the best safe swap in this cup, but it's not the tankiest. So the problem with Pika Libre is that it's not good in the 2 shield, but it's crazy good in the 1 and the 0. And you have Alolan Vulpix in the back as a spammy Pokemon. And that's pretty much it for Little Cup. I don't think there is more ideas about this cup than what we discussed. If you feel like there is a Pokemon that is actually stronger than what I mentioned, feel free to leave it in the comment section below, and I will take a look at all the suggestions. Thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you all in the next video. Peace.